To understand why the world set itself on fire in the year 1095, you must first understand the silence. It was a time when the night was absolute. There was no electricity, no science to explain the storm. There was only the harvest, the hunger, and the church. For the people of the 11th century, hell was not a metaphor. It was a physical place. It was waiting beneath their feet. Every sin was a weight, dragging them closer to the fire. They lived in terror of what came after death. And then, a door opened. At the Council of Clermont, Pope Urban II made an offer that would break the world. He told them that the Holy Land, the very soil where Christ had walked, was bleeding. He told them that if they marched east, if they killed the enemies of God, their sins would be washed clean. It was not just a call to war, it was a ticket to paradise. History tells us it was an army, but in truth, it was a migration of the desperate. Princes sold their castles. Farmers sold their plows. They sewed crosses of red cloth onto their chests. They had no maps. Most had never been more than 10 miles from the village where they were born. Yet, 60,000 people turned their faces toward the rising sun and began to walk. They were walking 3,000 miles into the unknown. They were led by great names: Bohemond, Godfrey, Tancred, men of iron and ambition. But behind the armored cavalry walked the poor, the dreamers, the fanatics. They believed that God would pave the road before them. They were wrong. The moment they crossed into Anatolia, the dream died. The summer heat of what is now Turkey was a hammer blow. They were wearing 50 pounds of chainmail in boiling temperatures. Water ran out. Horses died, their blood drunk by the desperate soldiers. Knights, the nobility of Europe, were forced to ride oxen or walk barefoot over the razor-sharp rocks. And they were not alone. The Seljuk Turks were unlike any enemy the Europeans had ever faced. They were ghosts in the dust, mounted archers who struck and vanished before a sword could be drawn. It was a slow, grinding death march. But they did not turn back, because to turn back was to forfeit their souls. They pushed on, fueled by a starvation-induced delirium, until they reached the great walls of Antioch. Antioch, the unbreachable city. For 8 months, the Crusaders laid siege, but it was the besiegers who began to starve. It was a winter of rain and mud. Disease swept through the camps. The chronicles tell us that the famine was so severe, men ate the leather of their shields. They ate thistles. Some, it is whispered, ate the dead. Just as the city fell to them, a massive Muslim relief army arrived, trapping the Crusaders inside the very walls they had just taken. They were broken, starving, outnumbered 3 to 1. But then, a miracle, or perhaps a hallucination born of hunger. A peasant claimed to find the Holy Lance, the spear that pierced the side of Christ, buried under a church floor. Fueled by religious hysteria, the starving army opened the gates. They didn't walk out to surrender. They charged. Against all logic, against all military strategy, they broke the siege. They believed they were invincible. And now, the road to Jerusalem was open. June 1099. 3 years after they left their homes, the remnants of the army crested a hill and saw it. Jerusalem. Men dropped to their knees in the dust and wept. They had walked through hell to reach the gates of heaven. The assault was brutal. On July 15th, the walls were breached. What followed remains a stain on history that has never fully faded. The Crusaders did not just conquer, they exterminated. The narrow streets of the Holy City turned into rivers of red. Muslim and Jewish inhabitants were slaughtered without mercy. Men, women, children. The chronicles wrote, with a terrifying pride, that their horses waded in blood up to their knees, and then, covered in the blood of the innocent, the knights walked into the church of the Holy Sepulchre. They clasped their gore-stained hands together, and they prayed. They wept with joy. They believed they had done God's work. The kingdom of Jerusalem would stand for nearly a century. But it was a kingdom built on a graveyard. The First Crusade succeeded against impossible odds, but it ignited a fire between East and West that would burn for 1,000 years. It was a testament to the terrifying power of belief. They went looking for salvation. They found only silence and the sword.
History isn't just wars and dates, it's human desperation. Like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.